This episode of Friends starts with one tiny pregnancy test and somehow turns into complete emotional chaos. Rachel takes the test. Everyone waits nervously, and for a second, it looks negative. Instant relief. Nobody is ready for a baby. Not emotionally, not financially, not mentally. And honestly, everyone starts convincing themselves that this is actually good news. But then, Rachel suddenly starts crying. And that's the moment she realizes she actually wanted the baby. And then comes the twist. The test was positive. Boom! Everything changes instantly. Rachel goes from shocked to emotional to completely overwhelmed in like 3 seconds. And somehow, the scene is still hilarious. But the real chaos starts when they try to figure out who the father is. At first, everyone thinks it's her ex. Even he thinks she wants to get back together. The poor guy starts giving this emotional, romantic speech while Rachel is standing there trying to say, I'm pregnant. And then finally, Ross is revealed as the father. And his reaction? Absolutely legendary. Instead of becoming emotional, this man starts arguing about condom percentages. 97% effective? They should put that in huge letters. Bro was personally betrayed by mathematics. And honestly, that entire breakdown is comedy gold. But underneath all the jokes, this episode has a lot of heart. Rachel is terrified. Ross is panicking internally. And neither of them has any idea how to become parents. Yet somehow, you can already feel them becoming a family. Then things get even crazier. The group starts arguing about who made the first move the night Rachel got pregnant. And suddenly, the entire apartment turns into a crime investigation. Ross says Rachel gave him signals. Rachel acts completely innocent. And then, the videotape appears. At this point, everyone becomes a detective. And just when Ross thinks he's finally about to prove himself right, the truth comes out. Rachel used the Europe story. Apparently, it's this magical story she tells whenever she wants to hook up with someone. And the second everybody realizes that, the entire room loses its mind. Even Joey looks shocked. And if Joey is shocked, something serious definitely happened. But slowly, the emotional side of the episode starts taking over. Rachel becomes hormonal, confused, emotional. At one point, she becomes attracted to basically every man she sees. Even the doctor isn't safe. Meanwhile, Joey quietly becomes one of the sweetest people in the entire show. He doesn't want Rachel to move out. He literally tries finding space for a baby inside his tiny apartment. And honestly, their friendship during these scenes feels incredibly real. Then comes the hospital sequence. Rachel starts having contractions, and everybody panics instantly. Ross tries acting calm, but inside, this man is falling apart. He keeps saying, everything's gonna be okay, while clearly having the worst anxiety attack of his life. And somehow, that makes the whole thing even funnier. But then, after all the screaming, the panic, the emotional breakdowns, and the hospital chaos, the baby finally arrives. And the second Ross sees his daughter for the first time, everything changes. The jokes stop. The chaos disappears. For one quiet moment, everyone just stares at this tiny little baby. And honestly, it's one of the most beautiful moments in the entire series. Because underneath all the comedy and sarcasm, this episode quietly shows two imperfect people learning how to become a family. And that is why this episode is unforgettable.